Also, thereafter there was a establishment of Rwanda International Criminal Tribunal, which was established in 1944 through the UN chapter, again UN Charter in by the Security Council. Again, that was for the purpose for prosecuting the persons, those who were responsible for genocide, etc. And these were committed in the territories of Rwanda and other neighboring states. So through these repeated creation of tribunals, they thought that they should have a permanent court established called the International Criminal Court, who would be dealing with just international crimes such as genocide, crimes against humanity, and crimes committed during any armed conflicts. Is it clear? Moving to the establishment of the court.
Ma'am?
So, establishment again in Article 1 of the Rome Statute of ICC has established ICC, and it provides that it is a permanent institution and has a power to exercise jurisdiction over persons and most serious crimes. And again, the most serious crimes that are international of international concern. So ICC shall be complementary to national courts. ICC will exercise jurisdiction only when national judiciary concerned is genuinely unwilling or unable to prosecute crimes that are mentioned in the statute of ICC. So its role is to actually prosecute and exercise its jurisdiction when the domestic judiciary or the national judiciary is unable or unwilling to actually prosecute crimes related to statute of ICC. Right? And also the court shall be brought into relationship with the UN through an agreement to be approved by assembly of the state parties. The seat of the court shall be established at Hague, the Netherlands. Is it clear? So coming to jurisdiction part. Okay. So jurisdiction, again, the court has its jurisdiction in accordance to its statute with respect to these particular, crimes, that is crimes of genocide, crimes of humanity, war crimes, and crimes of aggression. So these are the four types of crimes that could be, brought under the jurisdiction or in power under the ICC. The court has the jurisdiction with respect to these crimes committed after the entry into force of the statute. Okay. So crimes which were committed before the implementation of the statute could not come under its jurisdiction. Right. So a state has to become a party to the statute and therefore or thereby accept the jurisdiction of the court with respect to these crimes. So again, the statute shall equally be applicable to all persons without any biasness or official capacity of heads of the state or the government or parliament or any immunities or special procedural etc. And shall not that shall not be the bars for the court. However, the court shall have to have the jurisdiction over a person of the age of 18 years at the time of commission of the crime. Okay, coming to the composition part. Again, composition is very simple here. Composition again means there is a presidency, there is an appeal, trial, and pre-trial division. So in the presidency, there are the group, who will be actually adjudicating the final statement, and in the appeal division, trial division, pre-trial division, these are the stages through which the case will have to get transferred. There will be a pre-trial division, there will be a trial division, and there will be a appeal division, and then there will be office of prosecutor where there will be cross examination that could occur, and there is a registry wherein the registry will actually maintain and record all the details. So this court will consist of 18 judges, having established competence in criminal law and procedure, as a judge, as a prosecutor, as an advocate, or also as an international humanitarian law expert, and also expertised in the law of human rights. So again, nomination of the candidates for the selection of the judge or judgeship of this court shall be made by any state party to the statute, and every candidate is required to be fluent in one of the working languages of the court, and also no two judges may be nationals of the same nation state, right? And their office shall be for a term of 9 years. And on the first election, one third of the elected, staff will be selected to serve a term of 3 years, and one third of them will serve for a term of 6 years, and remainder will for a term of 9 years. So the place of trial shall be the seat of the court. Is it clear? Any questions so far?
Ma'am?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, this is unit 10.
No, bache, this is the part of UN and its organs.
Okay, unit 9. No, ma'am, I got confused between.
How is the matter of confusion, bache?
I thought this is unit 10, ma'am. That's why, because I was seeing the course handout, so I couldn't get this topic. So that's why I
ICC, or
asked.
International Court of Justice, is also one of the organs or specialized agencies of the UN. It's a part of the United Nations organization.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
The newest entrant.
Okay, ma'am. That's
Okay.
why I got confused.
So again, while talking about ICC and its what are the laws that could be applied to, and firstly, the court will apply its statute, the elements of statute, and the crimes enlisted in the statute the while we discussed before, and it will follow the procedure as per the statute. And wherever appropriate, they will also consult international treaties and principles of international law whenever there is some sort of conflict. Excuse me. So, lastly, all the general principles, as I was talking about, general principles of international law are to be kept in mind while proceeding with the jurisdiction of the crime. So again, as per the laws, or you can say the general principles of law, the court has to interpret its decisions, and they should pursue, interpretation of law in such a way that they are not inconsistent with the internationally recognized human rights. And these decisions of the ICC should not be biased and should be without any adverse distinction founded on the grounds such as gender, age, sex, race, color, language, religion, belief, politics, or other opinions of national, ethnic, social origin, wealth, or birth, etc. Right? So it is also said that while ICC is to give its decision, the person against whom the decision is made shall not be criminally responsible under this statute unless the conduct in question constitutes the, the time it takes place a crime within the court's jurisdiction. So these are the two ideas that are to be kept in mind. Okay, and a person convicted by the court may be punished only within the accordance with the statute. So a person that no person should be liable to for the conduct prior to the entry of force of the statute, and in the event of change in the final judgment is for most favorable persons will be properly investigated, and only then they will be made responsible. Is it clear? So moving to the penalties and appeal and revision of under ICC. So penalties again under Article 77, there are penalties like imprisonment up to 30 years and term of life imprisonment, and it depends upon the extreme gravity of crime and also in particular individual circumstances. These penalties are subject to Article 110 by reviewing the sentence or reduction of sentence of the court. In addition to the imprisonment, there is also order for fine, forfeiture of proceeds, property, assets, etc. So coming to the appeal and revision, the decision under Article 74 may be appealed in accordance to the rules and procedure and evidence. So the convicted person or his spouse, children, etc., may apply to appeals chamber to revise the final judgment of conviction, sentence, or the grounds specified under the statute. So anyone who has been the victim of unlawful arrest, detention shall have the enforcement to right to compensation. Right? And in regards to appraisal of ICC, if we talk about its pros, so ICC is a great achievement and it is having sufficient safeguards within its structure and jurisdiction criteria and the process, the judicial process it follows, and it actually doesn't undermine any national jurisdiction or any national sovereignty. So coming to its shortcomings or flaws, for example, the crimes of hijacking and terrorism have not been included in any of the list of these crimes. So these are also considered to be equivalent crimes. So ICC can have a jurisdiction over such hijacks and terrorism. However, the international acceptance of legal definition of terrorism is elusive and is separate under the UN. So again, a list of categories of crimes under the statute are under strict scrutiny that way. Also crimes against humanity are very diverse and they need to be exemplified and also elaborated. Okay, and for again, USA actually does not accept and favor ICC because firstly it believes that ICC actually downplays the role of Security Council. Second, the Rome Statute of ICC imports unchecked powers that are given to ICC. And also ICC threatens US sovereignty because ICC asserts citizens having to have the jurisdiction of their states, right? So USA actually is one of the 7 countries who has voted against the adoption of this Rome Statute. And similarly, India has been a signatory to it comparative to in relation to ICC. So enforcement mechanism is again devised through the statute and is also far from satisfactory as per the USA. And the statutes also show that the states are yet not prepared to establish a strong court that could have a compulsory jurisdiction over such international crimes. However, the statute actually represents the maximum agreement which could actually happen in the present circumstances. That is like a welcome feature of statute is to have a provision for review of the statute and improve its various loopholes. Is it clear? I hope you understood this topic of ICC. We talked about how it evolved through International Law Commission. Then we talk about its history, how they were to establish individual tribunals as and when that was required. And then finally, they could establish a separate court for the same that they did not need to establish a tribunal every time, and the crimes that are enlisted that are under the jurisdiction of the ICC, and also the composition of the court and how the court processes its cases and commitments. And last, we talked about the penalties and ways of repeal and revision. Any questions, class? Any questions, bache? No? Chalo, let's just start and wind up with the next parts that are the specialized agencies that we are left with. Okay. So I'll hurriedly call out your names. If you are interested, you can discuss the same. Otherwise, I'll presume it to be done. So the topic that was left was, we talked about IBRE, yeah, WHO, UNESCO, and Food and Agricultural Organization and ILO. These were the 4 specialized agencies that we were left with. And hurry up, WHO. Oh, sorry, we were done with WHO, I think. Okay, UNESCO. Ankita Agrawal, Anshul Mundra, Anshuman Singh, Anulekha, Sumasri, Anushka, Aritra Kundu, Arjun Chakrabarti, Arunav, Ashish, Astha Chaudhary, Avnish Bhardwaj, Avinash Mishra, Shridha, Avipasa, Bhakti. Any one of you? Are you there in the class, bache? Nobody is there in the class amongst you all? Astha, I can see you in the class. Are you there in the class, Astha? No, she's not there. Chalo, anyway. So to discuss UNESCO, again, it is one of the most important specialized agencies because it is relevant. Its relevance is about, it talks about, it is protecting various areas and World Heritage sites which are actually relevant and important. They actually up for protection of these, and they are being reviewed through this, and it helps the protection of the same. So, sorry. So coming to the topic, the UNESCO Foundation, or UNESCO as a specialized agency. UNESCO is like, it is brought and it's constituted after the approval of General Assembly. The main purpose is to contribute peace and security and promote collaboration and promote various nationals and its education purposes, scientific purposes, cultural purposes, and also promote their culture. So also their heritage sites, and through a universal respect and justice, for the respect for rule of law, and for respect for human rights and various fundamental freedoms. It is located in Paris, Paris, France. UNESCO works through a general conference and an executive board and a secretariat. So the general conference is consisting of representative of member countries who meet biannually to decide various policies, programs, and budget of the organization. The executive budget board consisting of 58 members elected by general conference, and they meet twice a year, and they are responsible for supervising the execution program adopted by the General Conference. So the Secretariat is headed by the Director General of the same, and he actually is like a face and it carries it out. Right? And UNESCO's program consists of two main aspects, that is permanent activities of general interest and also exchange of information through documentation, assistance of international non-NGOs, and preparation of various international conventions that are actually related to special activities designed to deal with specific problems in particular states. So this program is actually broken down into 6 main areas of activity. So the 6 main areas that UNESCO deals with is our education, natural science, social, human sciences, culture, mass communication, and international exchanges. Clear? Is it clear, class? Moving on to the next, that is Food and Agriculture Organization. Yes, Aishwarya Vucha, Ajay Thakur, Akash Malikarjun, Akhil Sabu, Akshara Pratap, Akshay Jain, Akshay Pitapali, Akshay Ranganathan, Akshita, Devendra Reddy, Alekhya, Vaishnavi, Amrut, Anand, Andrew, Anirudh, Anita Naka, Anjali, Surya. Anybody? Are you present? Nobody's present? Or you don't want to discuss? Aishwarya Vucha, I see you right here and you're not responding. Are you there or not? Also, Devendra Reddy, you are also there. Vaishnavi, you're also there. But you're not going to respond, right? Miss Class, am I audible to you? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Okay. So they don't want to discuss. Any which ways, let's hurry up and wind it up. I also call out the last group's name. If they are interested, then we can discuss ILO first. If anybody is there. Ramanika, Adarsh Krishna, Arya Kumar Jha, Atika, Almar Sadaf, Abdul, Abhinaba, Abhinay, Abhiram, Aditya Vardhan, Narekudam, Aditi Shri, Aditya, Aishwarya Grover. Anybody up for discussion from International Labour Organization? Okay. So, firstly, ILO, International Labour Organization, is the one of the oldest specialized agencies who had been working with as an indirect organ of UNO, and these are established either by the international, you can say, uh, uh, non-governmental organizations, NGOs. So it was established right after the First World War in 1919. And before this, it was an autonomous institution that was created by Treaty of Versailles, and it was associated prior to UN with the League of Nations, right? And it was a Montreal, it was signed at Montreal, and it was cited as ILO, the instrument of amendment. ILO became the first specialized agency that could be associated with the UN, and its agreement with the General Assembly was approved after 1946. So actually, ILO works with the improvement of labor standards and conditions throughout the world since more than 100 years by now. So it has drafted scores for its conventions and recommendations, and also collectively designated as the International Labor Code. It actually covers all the relevant subjects and related matters relating to employment, unemployment, conditions of employment of children as well as women. And it proposes various aspects through vocational training, industrial health, safety standards, security, and social security, industrial relations, again, maritime labor, immigration labors, and freedom of association and trade union rights. So these are various treaties that are signed through various juridical elements and instruments through ILO, right? So ILO is basically a specialized agency, and it is composed of number one, International Labour Conference as a general conference. The second thing, it has a governing body. And lastly, it also has an International Labour Office called the Secretariat. So it is the International Labour Conference is a supreme body which annually meets at its headquarters in Geneva, and it has each national delegation is composed of the two government delegates and one employer's delegate and one workers delegate, right? And the governing body or the executive council meets 3 to 4 times in a year in Geneva. It elects also Director General of the International Labour Office, the Secretariat, which is composed of a permanent secretariat and a professional staff. So the conference, the governing body, and the Secretariat Office in total make up the ILO. So ILO also was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for its recognition and its activities in 1969. Right? Is it clear? Coming to Food and Agriculture Organization, it is also an organization which came in and around 1945, and it became a specialized agency in 1946 of the UN. And purpose of FAO is basically to raise the level of nutrition and standards of living, and to secure improvements in various efficiency and production and distribution of food and agriculture products, farms, forests, fisheries, etc. So at present, FAO is considered to be the largest UN specialized agency, right? It is also working through the similar composition, that is a conference, a council, and a secretariat. And they are working similarly as the ILO is doing. The conference is the main body, and it is to convene its meeting 1 in 2 years, and they actually defined and approved the policy and the budget of Food and Agriculture Organization. And the council is like an executive body which consists of around 49 member states, and they're elected by the conference. And the members of the council, serve 3 years in a row, rotating, and they after the elections. And the council, acting on the behalf of all the members, is accountable to the conference. So the period between the conference session, the council is FAO's leading body. So operations of the secretariat are also managed by the similar, the director general, who is appointed by the conference and is heading the secretariat. So FAO has performed tremendous activities in various directions. For example, in this World Agricultural Census in 1950, FAO was instrumental in drafting international wheat agreement to most of the major wheat producing countries, and they have adhered to that agreement. Similarly, it launched various freedom from hunger campaign and world food programs, and to actually explore the possibilities for stimulating economic and social development. Also, FAO has played a major role in UN's technical assistance work. It has aided in a variety of problems such as animal and plant diseases, shortage of grains, conservation, prevention of soil erosion, fisheries production and conservation. Also, the World Food Day was observed every year on October 16th. This is the day when Food and Agriculture Organization came into existence. So, any questions? This ends up with your Unit 9 in complete. And I hope this was very, very simple, though it was long, but it was very plain and simple. I hope you are able to revise. And for the next, we have on the day after tomorrow, you have your NCP, right? NCP of your MCQs. There will be 30 MCQs. So be prepared. I wish you all the luck, and see you on NCP, that is day after tomorrow, Friday at 3 p.m. Right? So prepare well. We'll be finishing off with the last unit in the next week, probably after your NCP 3 is over. Right? Any questions, you can always call me and ask me. And if you have any doubts, you can post it here or you can message me. And I wish you all the best for your NCP 3. Thank you so much. If you don't have any questions, shall I end the class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then all the best to you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Day after tomorrow, 3 p.m. Thank you.